Okay, welcome back to the Anoraker channel. I'm going to try something new this week. I'm going to live stream a bit of news that has me really excited. I don't have time to put together the full usual video, so just bear with me. And if this goes well, maybe I'll do live stream news in the future. Let me know in the comments below if you like it or if the chat, should you happen to join. I'm excited that you're all here. I'm excited to be here, in part because something really epic is coming back. The Pebble Watch. Now, you may not remember the Pebble Watch because this was from a while ago, but the Pebble Watch was probably the first real smartwatch. The smartwatch had been attempted before in the past, but this was the first real implementation of a smartwatch. It was a good little device. It used an e-ink screen to give it a very long battery life, and it just went after a few of the basic needs: notification, messages, incoming phone call, that kind of thing. It was a supplement to your phone. And remember, this was before the Apple Watch and the Pixel Watch and so on. This was the first real mass market smartwatch. It pioneered the way for all the smartwatches we wear today. They launched on Kickstarter, sold a butt ton of watches. It's one of the most successful Kickstarters ever, if I recall correctly. And then they followed it up with nicer models. The first Pebble Watch was very plasticky. It kind of felt like a kid's watch in a way. So they followed that up with like a steel version. And then they tried to follow it up with like a Pebble Time, which was supposed to upgrade everything and add new fitness features and heart rate monitoring, and ended up with a really big bezel. And things kind of started to go south from there. They kind of lost their way on what it was people loved about the Pebble Watch. It was the smartwatch for geeks in a way, because there wasn't anything like it up to that point. But they wanted to be the everything watch for everyone, to kind of really move beyond where they were, and they tried to do too much, too fast, and kind of released bad products, to be honest. Eventually, Fitbit bought Pebble and basically shut them down. And then Google bought Fitbit and basically shut them down. It was kind of ironic in a way, and sort of what goes around comes around, I guess. But it's still kind of sad because for a lot of people, the Pebble was all you needed. There are people who still wear their Pebble watches to this day, and there have been efforts to keep them alive and keep them going. And yeah, they work better in some cases than others. You're always going to have an easier time integrating something into an Android phone than an iPhone, because Apple locks everything down. But there are still people who wear their Pebble watches to this day who work to keep them going. But there are no new Pebble watches to be had. And if you want to try one, they go for outrageous prices on eBay, far more than what they were ever sold for in some cases. Here is the good news. The original founder of the Pebble Watch company has been working with Google, well, begging Google to release the code, make it open source. Remember, Google bought Fitbit, Fitbit bought parts of Pebble essentially, including the code. So now Google owns all that code. Google yesterday relented and said, yes, we will open source the code. Most of it anyways. There are certain parts to the code they cannot open source because it is proprietary code. Things like the Bluetooth stack are just not able to just be open source. It's not Google's to do that with. But everything that they could, they did. You can now head to GitHub and find a copy of that code. Because of the missing portions of the code like Bluetooth stack and so forth, you can't just compile it, put it on an e-ink device, and be up and running, unfortunately. There will need to be work to get it up and running. But that's where the good news is, because 8 years later, you still can't beat a Pebble. It's coming back. The original developer of the Pebble, along with his friends, but the original developer of the Pebble has promised that they're going to make new Pebble hardware somehow, some way. And if you head to that page that I just kind of peeked for a second, it's repebble.io, I think. Let me double check that. No, repebble.com. You'll find the option to join in and help with developing the code back to the point where it works, or sign up to buy a new Pebble when they're ready. And I'll admit, the world has moved on. We now have Apple Watches, which is one of the better smartwatches out there just because Apple has such good integration with its own products. When you own the whole stack, it's easy to make everything good. And we even have good Android watches at this point. They still have their problems, but the Pixel Watch and the Samsung Galaxy Watch have come a long way. We have watches that do a lot, but sometimes they do too much. Even now, I'm getting Slack notifications as I'm trying to do this stream, and I'll have to turn off my walkie-talkie because sometimes people that I know will walkie-talkie me and forget that I might be doing this. And sometimes the watch becomes so much, it's no longer a supplement, it's no longer a helpful device, it's almost its own standalone category. The Pebble Watch was at its best because it had this ridiculously long battery life thanks to that e-ink paper. No more charging my device, let's get rid of that Slack message, no more charging my device each and every single day and then forgetting to put it on in the morning. Just wear it like an old-fashioned watch for as long as you need, take it off for showers, what have you, and the battery life will just keep going because that's the magic of e-ink. Even and with color e-ink now a thing, they could even take things a little further. No more worrying about how many apps are installed in here, getting bothered by things you don't want. Just get the notifications you need. And okay, granted, you can do that with the Apple Watch and the Google Watches as well, or the Android Wear OS watches as well. But it takes, there's another Slack message, it takes a lot more work to go in and disable a lot of that and all that extra functionality you don't necessarily need. The Pebble is just kind of that return to simplicity, that return to easiness, the return to just, well, let's be honest, the world of like 15 years ago. And these days, can we be honest, the world is too complicated. The world is just a bit too much in your face. The world has too many social networks with changing names and notifications in your face. And granted, just take off the watch and hide away your phone. I can't do that though, can you? I kind of like the idea of returning to something from yesteryear. A little bit of nostalgia, if you will. And if you never had or saw a Pebble, you probably won't get this. But if you did, it's something to be extremely excited about. Pebble OS is open source as of this moment. I will link in the description down below after this live stream is over to that area. Repebble.com is already published and you can sign up to learn more about it, to even help develop Pebble OS and get it back to full working status, and maybe buy one when it's ready. And that's kind of really it. I just think it's amazing. I admit I'm a nostalgia kind of person, and then it's totally got me. And it's totally possible that when I get a hold of one of these, I'm probably going to get a hold of one of these, that it won't live up to my fond memories. But sometimes it doesn't need to. Sometimes it's just about having those fond memories. Honestly, that's about it. So I won't keep the live stream going up much longer than this. I'm really glad you watched this if you are watching this, and I do hope you take time to subscribe to this channel and learn more about tech news coming up and tech reviews coming up. We've got a lot of great things, projectors, really amazing rechargeable battery system. Trust me, it's way more awesome than it sounds, and I've got more review units coming in as well. This is just something new I wanted to try, and if you like it, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do it more in the future. But until next time, bye!